Discipline is self-love, while you must say no to yourself. From the moment you were born, society has been programming you with a dangerous lie. They told you that discipline is punishment. They told you that saying no to yourself is deprivation. They conditioned you to believe that loving yourself means giving in to every craving, every impulse, every momentary desire that flashes across your consciousness. This is perhaps the greatest deception of our modern age, and it has created generations of people who are slaves to their own weaknesses while calling themselves free. The truth is the exact opposite of what you've been taught, and understanding this truth is the first step toward reclaiming your power. Look around you at the people who claim to love themselves by indulging in every pleasure. Are they happy? Are they fulfilled? Are they building lives of meaning and purpose? Or are they drowning in debt, struggling with their health, stuck in unfulfilling careers, and wondering why their relationships keep failing? The evidence is overwhelming. The path of least resistance leads to the most painful destinations. Meanwhile, the men and women who've achieved greatness in any field, in any era, share one common trait. They understood that discipline is not the enemy of freedom, it is the gateway to it. They knew that saying no to the small pleasures today is what creates the monumental life tomorrow. Here's a test that will reveal more about your relationship with yourself than any personality quiz or self-help book. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself directly in the eyes, and ask this question. Do my daily actions prove that I love myself? Not your intentions, not your wishes, not what you plan to do someday. Your actual, observable, measurable actions today. If you truly loved someone, you would never let them eat poison. You would never let them waste their potential. You would never stand by while they sabotage their own future. So why do you do these things to yourself? When you hit the snooze button for the 5th time, you are telling yourself that comfort matters more than your dreams. When you scroll through social media instead of working on your goals, you are communicating that distraction is more important than your destiny. When you eat that junk food, skip that workout, or procrastinate on that important project, you are not practicing self-love, you are practicing self-betrayal. Real love requires discipline. A parent who truly loves their child doesn't let them eat candy for every meal. A coach who truly cares about their athlete pushes them past their perceived limits. And a person who truly loves themselves has the courage to say no to the immediate gratification that leads to long-term regret.
Most people dramatically overestimate what they can accomplish in a day and dramatically underestimate what they can accomplish in a year. This fundamental misunderstanding leads to a cycle of ambitious beginnings and disappointing endings. They want the six-pack abs, but they don't want the daily discipline of nutrition and exercise. They want the successful business, but they don't want the consistent grind of showing up every single day. They want the loving relationship, but they don't want to do the daily work of being present, patient, and purposeful. Success is not a single decision. It is the accumulation of thousands of small disciplines practiced consistently over time. Consider this. If you improve by just 1% every day, you will be 37 times better in 1 year. That's not motivation, that's mathematics. The compound effect works in both directions, though. If you decline by 1% every day through small indulgences and missed opportunities, you will be nearly 0 in a year. Every time you choose discipline over desire, you are investing in your future self. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you are stealing from your future self. The question is not whether you have time to be disciplined, it's whether you can afford the cost of not being disciplined. Your current life is the sum total of all your previous choices. Your future life will be the sum total of the choices you make from this moment forward. Your brain is not designed for your success. It's designed for your survival. And in the ancient world where our neural pathways were formed, survival meant conserving energy, avoiding pain, and seeking immediate rewards. This programming served our ancestors well when food was scarce and danger was constant. But in the modern world of unlimited comfort and infinite distraction, this same programming is destroying us. Your brain will always choose the path of least resistance unless you consciously override it. This is not a flaw to be ashamed of, it is a feature to be understood and managed. The good news is that your brain is plastic. It can be rewired through consistent practice. Every time you choose discipline over indulgence, you are strengthening the neural pathways associated with self-control and weakening those associated with impulsivity. This is why the first days and weeks of a new discipline are the hardest. You are literally fighting against years of neurological programming. But if you persist, something remarkable happens.
The discipline that once required enormous willpower becomes automatic. The pain of saying no transforms into the pleasure of keeping your word to yourself. What was once resistance becomes ritual, and what was once sacrifice becomes second nature. This is the neurological foundation of self-love, building a brain that naturally chooses what's best for you, not just what feels good in the moment. There is a fundamental truth about human existence that most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid. Pain is inevitable. You cannot escape it. You can only choose which type of pain you will experience. There is the pain of discipline, the discomfort of waking up early, of pushing through when you want to quit, of saying no when every fiber of your being screams yes. This pain is temporary, purposeful, and transformative. It burns away your weaknesses and forges your strength. It is the pain that leads to growth, achievement, and the deep satisfaction of becoming who you were meant to be. Then there is the pain of regret, the crushing weight of wondering what if, the ache of seeing others achieve what you only dreamed about, the bitter taste of knowing that you had the potential but not the discipline to realize it. This pain is permanent, purposeless, and devastating. It doesn't make you stronger, it makes you bitter. It doesn't lead anywhere, it just echoes in the chambers of your heart for the rest of your life. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Choose your pain wisely, because make no mistake, you will pay either way. The only question is whether you pay with temporary discomfort now or permanent regret later. Understanding the importance of discipline is worthless without a practical system for implementing it. Motivation will fail you. It's an emotion, and emotions are unreliable. Willpower will fail you. It's a finite resource that depletes throughout the day. What you need is a protocol, a structured system that removes decision-making from the equation and automates your success. Start by identifying the 3 most important disciplines that, if practiced consistently, would transform your life. For most people, these involve physical health, financial growth, and skill development. Write these down and make them non-negotiable. Next, attach each discipline to a specific time and place. Don't say, I'll exercise more. Say, I will work out at 6 a.m. in my home gym before any other activity. Don't say, I'll save money. Say, I will transfer 20% of every paycheck to my investment account the moment it hits my bank. Don't say, I'll learn new skills. Say, I will study for 1 hour every evening from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. at my desk. Specificity is power. Remove the variables, eliminate the decisions, and your discipline becomes inevitable. Finally, create accountability through tracking. What gets measured gets managed. Keep a simple daily log of whether you completed your non-negotiables. A visual record of your consistency is both a motivator and a mirror that shows you exactly who you're becoming. The final and most powerful level of discipline comes not from doing disciplined things, but from becoming a disciplined person. Most people approach self-improvement from a having mindset. I want to have a better body, have more money, have better relationships. Some graduate to a doing mindset. I will do the workouts, do the saving, do the communication. But the masters operate from a being mindset. I am a disciplined person. I am someone who honors their commitments. I am the type of person who shows up regardless of how I feel. This identity shift is transformative because it changes the source of your motivation. When discipline is something you're trying to have or do, it feels like a constant battle against your nature. But when discipline becomes part of who you are, acting on it becomes as natural as breathing. You don't have to convince a fish to swim or a bird to fly. It's simply what they are. Similarly, when you internalize the identity of a disciplined person, you don't have to convince yourself to make the right choices. You simply ask, what would a disciplined person do in this situation? And the answer becomes obvious. This is what it truly means to love yourself, to become the person who naturally, instinctively, and consistently chooses their highest good over their momentary comfort. Every day, you make promises to yourself. You promise to wake up early. You promise to work on your goals. You promise to take care of your health. You promise to be better than you were yesterday. And every day, you have a choice. Keep those promises or break them. The person you become is simply the accumulation of promises kept or broken. When you break your word to yourself, you destroy your self-trust. You teach yourself that your commitments don't matter. You condition yourself to expect failure. But when you keep your word to yourself, even in small things, you build unshakable self-respect. You prove to yourself that you are trustworthy. You create an internal foundation of integrity that nothing external can shake. Self-discipline is not about being hard on yourself. It's about loving yourself enough to become who you're capable of being. It's about having the courage to say no to the temporary pleasures that lead to permanent pain. It's about choosing the compound effect of daily disciplines over the hollow comfort of immediate gratification. Today, right now, make a decision. Decide that you will love yourself too much to let yourself fail. Decide that you will keep your promises to yourself as faithfully as you would keep them to someone you cherish. Decide that discipline is your new definition of self-love. And then prove it, not with your words, but with your actions. Because in the end, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. And the work starts now.